The AC is back here on WAES 8.1 FM, Stevenson High School, Lincolnshire, Illinois. Again, this is the AC Afternoon Show, keeping you cool every Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 to 5 p.m. I'm Stephen Cohn. We're going to start off today with the NFL, where the Bears improved to 8-6 on the season, taking sole possession of first place in the NFC North after a 21-point fourth quarter and a 38-31 win over the Cleveland Browns in the return of Jay Cutler. Cutler was out for about, I think, 5 weeks there out of 6. Bears didn't really struggle in his absence. Josh McCown maybe led the team better than Cutler did, only throwing 1 interception compared to 13 touchdowns, when Cutler, coming into this Sunday's game, had 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Big difference. McCown was taking care of the ball and giving us a chance to win the game. But Cutler comes back due to high criticism. Trustman had the confidence in Cutler, one could say. Put him out there. Bears got off to a shaky start. He threw 2 interceptions in the first half, including one of those that was returned by Tayshawn Gibson for a 44-yard pick six. Gave the Browns a 10-3 lead. Bears tied up late in the first half on a Brandon Marshall pass from Jay Cutler. And what you saw again in this game was a lot of Brandon Marshall targets. Bears, not many of the guys were targeted. Only 5 guys total. Marshall led that with 13 targets. And then you saw Alshon Jeffrey, who's just been dominant. He had one terrific touchdown catch in the second half, but he was only targeted 5 times, caught all 5 balls. Jeffrey took up the challenge. He knows he's not going to get as many passes because Marshall and Cutler have a chemistry along with one another. But when he was getting the ball, he took advantage of it for 72 yards. Marshall, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, and a big 41-yard catch that was there in the second half. So the Bears in this game scored 38 points. That's what you get from the league's second highest scoring offense. Only worse than the Denver Broncos, led by Sportsman of the Year Peyton Manning. Gets that later. But what you saw was the Bears are able to win games they should have won. This was a must-win game. The Bears knew they were up to the challenge. They knew Jay Cutler knew, if we win the last 3 games and maybe get some help from a Lions opponent, Detroit Lions opponent, as they did, get to that in a minute, he knew if we win all 3 this game, the one against the Eagles and the one against the Packers in Week 17, this is our division, we're going to the playoffs. They had to take care of business in the 14th game of the season right here against the Browns. They struggled on the road. Coming into this game, only 2-4 on the season. Get a big win this game, and now they get to travel to Philadelphia this Sunday night. Jason Campbell, though, former Bears quarterback from last season, backup, he was the leading passer in this game. 273 yards, 23 for 39 passing, but 2 big interceptions, especially one in the first half, third quarter. Early in the third quarter, that was returned by Zach Bowman for his 2nd interception of the game. That was a pick 6. 2 pick 6s in this game. 2 guys with 2 interceptions in this game, and Gibson and Bowman. Campbell stood his ground. Didn't really have a high quarterback rating down this game. Wasn't very effective on the rush except for one play in the second half. That was a 17-yard run. But you can't put all the blame on him. He doesn't really have the same receivers that Cutler has. Here's Josh Gordon, who had a nice game, 67 yards on 3 catches, and Greg Little, 68 yards, 4 catches. So Bears defense didn't take up the challenge. The Browns, not one of the better offenses in the league, one of the better defenses actually. Bears scorched them for 38 points, but the defense again struggled. They will be getting Lance Briggs back this week for the game against the Eagles. But James Anderson, big 11 tackles, including 1 QB hit. The Bears had trouble getting to Campbell, though, and no sacks on the game compared to the 2 that the Browns got on. Cutler, though, both times came up fine. He stayed in the entire game, and though there was one time that he rolled his ankle a little, maybe McCown was going to go into the game. No need for that. It was all good, and the Bears took away this win. After Devin Hester, before the game, it was a big deal. Hester wants to get that 19th kick return, or punt return, that breaks the record with Deion Sanders for the most returns all time. He returned a few kicks that he probably shouldn't have that were kick returns. Did a very nice job, though, including a 40-yard return, and gave the Bears great field position in the fourth quarter. And the Bears took advantage, won the game. Okay, well, the Bears at that point were 8-6 on the season. That was Sunday afternoon, Sunday at noon. At the though later in the day in the 3:25 session, they had to wait for another one of those teams in the NFC North looking to make the playoffs, even though just a few weeks ago they looked like they were dead, and that would be the Green Bay Packers. In this game, the Packers also looked like they had no chance to win, just like the Bears did at one point in this game. Packers down 26-3 at halftime, and the Cowboys blow up though in the second half. Give up 34 points to the Packers. Packers pull off an amazing 37-36 win, and a lot of the blame on this game is not going. A lot of the blame is going to Tony Romo rather than praise for the Packers and what Matt Flynn was able to do with this team. Driving down the field 3 times in the fourth quarter, scoring 20 points. They went for 2 in the last possession. Didn't get it, so they only got 20 points there in the fourth. But no praise going to Matt Flynn on a terrific day. 300 yards passing, 4 touchdown passes, 1 interception, only sacked twice. Very efficient. Tony Romo, on the other hand, really struggled in this game. He did have 358 yards, but what everyone's looking at is that late fourth quarter, he blew up. 2 interceptions in that fourth quarter, and that just put the Cowboys out of the game. Why? Now the big question everyone's asking is why are they passing the ball with 7 minutes left, up by a touchdown in their own territory? It's an insane question. The Cowboys now face several backup quarterbacks now in the past 4 weeks. I don't think they've won any of those games. They had to play McCown last week on Monday Night Football. They lost. Had to play Matt Flynn, who has had starting experience, not really to the prowess of Aaron Rodgers though. And the Cowboys just can't seem to pull off wins. It's incredible. It blows your mind. How do the Cowboys blow this? Why are they passing the ball? Who's to put the blame? Well, you could say it's Tony Romo. He's never really won a December game. That's not what he does. He really struggles with that. And he is great. The first part of the season. The Cowboys were in first place just a few weeks ago. Now, probably not going to make the playoffs. They need a lot of help. They're a game back with 2 games to go. They need the Bears to help them now to beat the Eagles. And they have to win, so they'll each be 8-7. But the Cowboys have had so many chances to put this game away. All they had to do was run the ball. They had DeMarco Murray, one of the premier backs in the NFL, 134 yards in this game with 1 touchdown. They have a good back. And when Tony Romo is forcing passes, which you wonder why he's forcing passes into a strong Packers secondary led by Sam Shields, who had one of those interceptions. Sam Shields had a great interception there at the end of the game. Trayvon Williams had also a great interception there with less than 2 minutes to go. He ripped the ball right out of Corliss's hands, and it was his. And then the Packers drove right down the field twice in a row, including Eddie Lacy, who terrific day, 140 yards on the ground, and they won the game. So the Packers then in the NFC North with a chance to maybe make the playoffs. They're in second place now. Why are they in second place? Monday Night Football, maybe the game of the season in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens defeat the Detroit Lions, who were in first place coming into this week, now in third place. And that's a tough week for them. The Ravens defeat the Lions 18-16. They didn't get a touchdown this game. It was 6 Ravens field goals that gave them the win, all by Justin Tucker, who's now he's legendary all of a sudden, including a 61-yard field goal with 38 seconds to go, where it was a disputed thing. Should he kick the field goal? Well, John Harbaugh, Ravens head coach, decided yes, he should kick it. It was 4th and 7. On 3rd and 10, they decided to run the ball with Ray Rice instead of having Joe Flacco, who was hurt the last 10 minutes or so of this game after getting hit by the Detroit's D-line. Decided to run the ball, only get 3 yards. And then they sent out just the offense out there to go for it. On 4th, they call time. And then they send out Justin Tucker, who makes maybe one of the best kicks in NFL history. It didn't look like it was going to go in. It went in just right under the right side of the goalpost. Ball flies right through the goalpost, and the Ravens take an 18-16 lead. The Lions, Matt Stafford didn't have the game it usually has. 14 targets to Calvin Johnson of his 34, which is probably too many, because you can't just rely on Calvin Johnson late in the season, because Megatron can always catch the ball. but the Ravens caught on and they started double, triple teaming him in coverage, and that didn't allow the Lions to get to him. Nate Burleson, he's been hurt a lot of the season after breaking his hand moving a pizza box in his car in preseason. Brandon Pettigrew, he's a good tight end. He's not great. He's not like Martellus Bennett on the Bears. And then you got Foria, who he's a rookie, undrafted rookie. He caught a great touchdown catch there in the fourth quarter. It didn't hold up though. And Reggie Bush also. He's had a nice season catching and running the ball 100 yards between the two. But you can't just rely on Calvin Johnson to carry the team almost. He didn't get a touchdown this game, and that's probably why the Lions lost. Because when Calvin Johnson's not being that stud that he is, when he's not being the best receiver in NFL history, and he was in this game. He had a great game. Only six catches for 98 yards, and there was one time there in the fourth quarter, he was running over the Ravens defenders. He was train wrecking them almost like a baseball home plate collision. He's so strong, he's so big. He could just run by them. And but when the ball wasn't getting to him, there were 8 times that the ball went to him, which is half of Stafford's incompletions for the Lions. If the ball's not getting to him, they're going to struggle a lot. And they did in this game because they couldn't get the offense there in the second half, where they only scored 9 points. So at the end of the day, the Lions, they're now in third place, sitting in third place in the NFC North. And if they want to get back in the NFC North picture, it's going to take a lot of work this weekend. Cover all those scenarios, along with maybe what was the game of the NFL season, the Cardinals and Titans, all after Don Omar Danzacadoro on the AC.
You don't get money. It's a worldwide. But I do. You don't get them girls.
Students are all going to be on winter break, so get excited for that. Also, you got some things to still do this week to still finish up before the year ends. One of those things, Odyssey sign up ends December 20th. Make sure to visit the Odyssey homepage on the D125 website or log into Infinite Campus under school login. Pick those Odyssey classes. You've got everything from from cake decorating to balloon twisting to flower arranging. Make sure to pick those things for the middle February, too late arrivals, where it's Odyssey. And a student survey says, how much time do students and students spend on homework? What do students think about their counselors at Stevenson? And gonna get those results very soon because I know. Dying to find out. It's not. It's showing up. No, it's not. It's not happening. So, but in other news, also, band freshmen must pick up their PE uniforms from the school store. If you have questions, call the Superstore 847-415-4126. And senior Sam Morarati is one of 3 prep football players in the Chicago area, chosen for the Chicago Bears Community Champion Award based on athletic achievements and community service. Congratulations, Sam Morarati. Okay, and after my show today, make sure to tune in to iHi.com/Stevenson Patriots again and again to watch, to listen to Armis Gudiolauskas, Nick Mashker, and Daniel Stein. And from 5 to 6:30 and 6:30 to 8, Brianna Bennett, Greg Dubin, and Brett Rossiter. And tomorrow morning, don't miss out with Justin Quantz. Don't think Ian Elzing is going to be there, so it's just just in time with Justin Klowans. And tomorrow after school in the slot, Taeyang Kyung Sung and K-pop. Back to football though. After the break, we're gonna get to right now. Maybe what was the game of the season right here, and that would have to be the Arizona Cardinals at the Tennessee Titans, which most people want to think, yes, that's the game of the week because it's 2 very unsexy teams. Even though the Cardinals have a 9-5 record, which is one of the big surprises in the NFL this season. Cardinals blew a huge lead, but then the Titans got a touchdown with about 10 seconds left in the game, a passing touchdown inside the red zone. They scored. The game went to overtime, and the Cardinals, after blowing their lead, still won the game in overtime, and that's huge for the Cardinals, and huge for the NFC playoff standings. Because the Cardinals, right now, not in the playoff picture. They're not in the playoff picture, but they're 1 game back. And this win really sets them apart from teams like the Lions and Lions and Packers, which means the NFC North likely only going to get the division winner into the playoffs. But right now, you've got the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the 49ers, the 3 teams vying for really 2 wildcard spots. The Panthers and 49ers are both 10-4, Cardinals and 9-5. And the Cardinals still the game with the 49ers, I think, week 17. So you've got a lot of big stuff going on right there. It depends how those games work out. The Cardinals, though, no matter how they do, big surprising season, clinch a winning record with this win. And no one really expected that with a team that's Carson Palmer as their quarterback. They forced 3 turnovers in the game, and that's why they won. And so you've got the week 16 coming up in the NFL this week, and that's gonna start off this no Thursday game this week. Thursday games are done for a season, but you're gonna start off with Sunday afternoon, the Dolphins and the Bills, and the Sunday slot also Vikings, Bengals, Colts, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Rams, Browns, Jets, Cowboys, Redskins, Saints, Panthers, a matchup of 2-2 and 10-4 teams. That game might decide who wins the NFC South. And also, it's a huge day for 1 o'clock games. I think there's 8 of them. You also have Titans Jaguars, a matchup for last place in the AFC South, and Broncos Texans, the biggest disparity between 2 teams in the NFL this season. Texans fighting maybe for if they lose their last two games, they clinch that number one draft pick. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater. They don't really have a quarterback right now. Kind of struggling. Texans 2-12. Broncos 11-3, and none of those games really mattered to the Bears though, because none of those games involved the Packers or the Lions. But the 4 o'clock games: Giants, Lions, Cardinals, Seahawks, Steelers, Packers, and Raiders, Chargers, and Patriots, Ravens. And those games do mean something to the Bears, because the Steelers, they are playing the Green Bay Packers at 3:30 this Sunday. The Steelers on Sunday Night Football this past week at home, they were up 20-3 at halftime over the Cincinnati Bengals. Won that game 30-20. So they kind of blew a second half lead, but the Steelers proved that Ben Roethlisberger may be having his best season of his career, almost 4,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns. And while the Steelers started out very shaky, they have won 5 of 6, and now they're 6-8 on the season. They are going to Lambeau Field, but the Steelers have a chance. They've got a nice team. They've got Bell and Brown, a nice combo there with on the ground in the air. And they're helping the Steelers win games right now, especially Dante Brown, 1,300 receiving yards on the season. That's helping them. They have a good chance. There's only a 1-game difference between these teams. The line is Green Bay by 7, but who knows? Aaron Rodgers probably not playing. I think he's been ruled out today. They're going to get Matt Flynn in there again. Packers proved they could fall behind early in games, as they did this week against the Cowboys. But who knows? Maybe if they fell behind again at home against the Steelers, they wouldn't come back the same way. Also, at 3 o'clock, you've got Giants at Lions, the last Lions home game of the season. The Giants lost this week to the Seahawks. It was 23-0, and they couldn't even get any points on the board. They struggled a lot this season. They're out of the playoff picture with that loss. So you might be seeing the Giants just give in and say their season's over. Hopefully, for Bears fans, they're saying that we don't want them to do that. We want them to keep playing hard. Victor Cruz not having a very Victor Cruz-esque season. He's going to get to 1,000 receiving yards in this game with 1 catch. And Eli Manning, only 3,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 25 interceptions, a career high for him, and also ties the New York Giants high all time. So they're struggling a lot. Their defense not very strong. They couldn't stop the Seahawks this past week. But the Lions, they're coming off a huge momentum-changing loss where they're going to be down. They give up 6 field goals to Justin Tucker and the Ravens. How can they come back from that? Don't know yet. We'll see on Sunday afternoon when they get to their last home game of the season against the Giants. And then you've got the Sunday night game, which was flexed into the Sunday night slot because Bears-Eagles, the winner, if both these teams win the division, the winner of this game is going to get to be the 3 seed in the NFC. So beginning of the season, the Bears, they had a new head coach. Jay Cutler's in the final year of his contract. This is a defense that's falling apart. With the Eagles, brand new coach and Chip Kelly, he wants to play fast like they do at Oregon in college. He's got a quarterback controversy with Nick Foles and Michael Vick, who's going to be quarterback. There's such a disgruntled team. What's happening? You got Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, a very talented team, but a lot of issues, a lot of things to work together. The Bears, you've got 2 really talented wide receivers. How's that going to work this year when they're both healthy the whole season? And these teams had a lot of questions going with them into the season. And for now, both of them to be 8-6 in week 16 of the season. And for one of these two teams, they're going to be the 3 seed in the conference, get to host 1 playoff game. They get to host the wild card round game. It's surprising. And it's exciting because the Bears know, okay, well, if we win this game, the Lions and Packers both lose, or if the Packers lose, the Lions tie, which could happen. The Packers tied this season. Then the Bears with a win the division. Or if they win both games against now the Eagles and the Packers, they win the division. And they know this is no easy test. They're going to have to go to Philadelphia, which is cold. The Bears have played in the cold before. They're going to have to play a mobile quarterback. They've done that before. They almost beat Robert Griffin III this season. They played other mobile quarterbacks as well. especially Jason Campbell, who can be mobile, didn't really show it this week because they kind of shut him down in that aspect of his game. And they've played weak defenses before. They've given up a lot of points to opposing offenses. The Eagles gave up 48 points to the Vikings this week. They lost 48-30 to the Vikings. The Vikings didn't have their two best running backs, and Adrian Peterson and Toby Gerhardt. So the Bears, they should be able to take advantage of a lot of the Eagles' weaknesses because they've played a lot of teams like the Eagles so far this season, just not a team like the Eagles that's all put together like they are. So the Bears are going to have to take advantage of the opportunities they're going to have against the Eagles this weekend. And you saw Color throw a few interceptions this week against the Browns. Can't make those same mistakes because you're not playing the Browns anymore. You're on Sunday Night Football. All the pressure is right there. And you're playing a team that can actually score. Nick Foles has passed for 6 touchdowns in one game this season. Deshaun Jackson's a very deep threat. And LaShawn McCoy is one of the best running backs in the game. If the Bears can get through it, though, they have an even tougher task. Maybe if the Packers win this week, then you'll be into week 17 with the Bears-Packers. Here's a little press conference from Packers coach Mike McCarthy on Aaron Rodgers and why he hasn't been cleared and will be continued to be evaluated going into this week's game.
In the straight positioning aspect of it, I mean, the little work that he did today, I mean, I didn't sit there and watch him every snap, but it was good to have him out there. Aaron Rodgers update. Aaron is he's doing better. He's still has not been cleared by the medical staff. He's a limited practice participant. So similar work pattern that he did last week. So threw the ball extremely well. Looks sharp. He's getting better.
Is there hope that he could still be cleared this?
There you have it from Packers coach Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers is getting better, not there yet. And a quote from Rodgers this week was that he's not just going to come back because, hey, look, we have a chance to be in the playoffs. If we win both these last 2 games and beat the Bears in week 17, we have a chance to be in the playoffs. That's not what that Aaron Rodgers is not just going to come back because he has that chance. He's going to come back when he's healthy. He broke his collarbone against the Bears November 4th. Probably really wants to come back against the Bears week 17, show him that he's all better and that they could beat him, go to the playoffs with that. But he's not just coming back. If the Steelers can really take advantage of that, Ben Roethlisberger, experienced quarterback, he's won 2 Super Bowls. Gotta take advantage of that. You see the opportunity there. The Steelers know we're not gonna make the playoffs. Keep trying, maybe be spoiler for the NFC playoff picture. The AC though will be back with some NBA coverage. The Bulls struggling hard, and you got Pacers Heat tonight for a second time this season. Before all that, get down tonight, Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Girls, no skills, the world.
Sorry for technical difficulties during that song, but again, this is WAS 88.1 FM, Stevenson High School, Lincolnshire, Illinois. And call us here at 847-415-4332. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/WASFM and stream us live online on ihi.com/StevensPatriots, and make sure to keep following that Facebook page, because very soon, probably after first semester comes to a conclusion just in a few weeks, WAS will be switching away from ihi.com to other mediums to broadcast our shows. So make sure to watch out for that, and also to watch out after the break for more boys and girls Stevenson basketball games to be broadcast on highschoolcube.com. The boys basketball team's 7-0. Probably heard a lot about them. Chance to win state this year. It's pretty exciting. But right now we're going to move on to professional basketball, not just Jalen Brunson, Connor Cashout, which can be said to be professional basketball. And tonight, you got a big game for the Bulls as they keep going for a 10th win of the season, and they're playing the Houston Rockets. And what could be Omir Ashik of the Rockets, his last game. As a Rocket, they're going to trade him probably by tomorrow. Maybe to the Celtics, maybe to the 76ers, maybe to the Cavaliers, maybe the Hawks. Several teams in the Eastern Conference vying for the necessity of having Omir Ashik, a big 7-foot Turkish guy. That's going to be paid $15 million next season. And he doesn't really fit in well with Dwight Howard in Houston. So, the Rockets, 16-9, they're having a nice season so far. Of course, they have two superstars all of a sudden. They have James Harden along with Dwight Howard. They have two really good players, which Jeremy Lin, his days might be over. He's hurt right now, but he was good for about 2 weeks back in 2012. And then you also have Chandler Parsons, the small forward. So you have a nice team that they've put together there in Houston. Daryl Morey, GM, put a very nice team together. They got rid of Royce White, who was the guy that was afraid of traveling with the team last season because he has anxiety issues. So he was a big distraction to the team last year, although he never played a game. Got rid of that distraction. The Rockets a much better team now, especially with Dwight Howard coming off the free agent market. So the Bulls, though, let's focus on them. Not a very good team. Not a very good team. And you probably see that from their 9-14 record, or the fact that they are losing the teams that Tom Thibodeau has always beat. Tom Thibodeau is a winning coach. He's a regular season coach. That's what he's been said. Because the Bulls, his first 3 seasons, first 2 seasons actually, they dominated. They won 16-22 one season, then the 66-game season they won 50. So over 2 seasons of 148 games, the Bulls won 110, I think it was, and that's incredible. But then with the fact that this season already lost 14 games, which is almost half of what they lost their first 2 seasons, and then last year to lose 38, Bulls might not even get a winning record this season. It might still make the playoffs, wouldn't probably be a threat. This whole losing streak started back on November 22nd in Portland when they lost Derrick Rose for the remainder of the season. Maybe the playoffs will come back. They lost back in 98-95. Since then, they've lost the teams that in the past they would beat. They've only had 3 wins in non-Derrick Rose age. Those wins coming against Detroit, Miami, which that was a dominating 20 points win where they just felt like they'd make a statement. That didn't turn around the season, and then they beat Milwaukee after playing them 2 times in 4 days. Lost the first game by 4. They beat Milwaukee then by 1 point on Mike Dunleavy's buzzer beater shot. But they to go along with the fact they've lost 2 teams that they would usually beat in the past. They've lost to the Utah Jazz by 6. The Jazz are picked to be maybe the worst team in the NBA this season to compete with teams like the Magic, who the Bulls lost to last night by 1 point, Monday night, by 1 point after Mike Dunleavy made a half-court shot as time expired. That's not a 4-point shot though, so they lost that game. They've lost to foes like the New Orleans Pelicans in triple overtime. These are teams the Bulls would beat up in the past. They lost to the Toronto Raptors by 22 points on Saturday night. 22 points to the Raptors. The Bulls, the last time they scored over 100 was that December 2nd triple overtime loss to the Pelicans. And going into the overtime, they only had like 102 points. So then going back to how many times the Bulls have scored 100 this season, it's once. In 4 quarters, they scored 110 against Indiana, who only has 4 losses on the season. So congrats to the Bulls for beating some teams, some of the best teams in the East, like Miami, like Indiana. 1-1 against both those teams this season. But they can score, and this was a problem before the season when they had Derrick Rose. Before the season, back in the middle of October, it was, okay, the Bulls have put together a really nice team that should be able to compete. They've addressed their needs. They needed a 3-point threat that wasn't named Marco Bellinelli or Kyle Korver. They got that in Mike Dunleavy. They needed to address the backup problem, since who knows if Derrick Rose does get hurt again. So they got guys. They brought back Mike James, who's only played in 7 games this season. They built through the draft with guys like Eric Murphy, Tony Snell, who have played well. They don't get in the game that often. And then you still had some really strong starters, including Dang, Boozer, and Butler, who was his 2nd-year starter now. He was going to have a great season. Butler's been hurt. Dang's been hurt. Noah's been hurt. Boozer's the only guy that's played in all 23 games. Gibson has 2, along with Dunleavy. That's it. Everyone else has been hurt or just hasn't played in all those games. And that's when you have to start Nazi Muhammad for 1 game during a season. It's not good. You're having a problem. And the Bulls right now are having a problem. They can't score. Leading scorer, Luol Deng, 19.6 points. No one's been really able to take over Rose. He still averaged 16 points on the season. Boozer only at 15. So they don't have that scoring that they should be able to get. The bottom 5 guys combined for like 10 points. They don't have these guys that can score because they don't have a superstar. And that might be a need that they might need to address next season. Or they can just tank the season, maybe get Jabari Parker in the draft. Or someone like Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins, for example. Aaron Gordon out from Arizona. Who knows? But the Bulls have a big choice. Do we want to be the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference and maybe have to play the Heat or the Pacers in the first round of the playoffs? Or do we want to tank? Do we want to maybe have a chance to be the worst team in the NBA? The Bulls right now, on the outside looking in, they're the 9 seed right now. Only 8 seeds make the playoffs, of course. They're only a half game behind the Toronto Raptors, who 9-13. Bulls are 9-14. And then the Bulls could easily be like the 5 seed. They're only a game and a half behind the Pistons, who are 12-14. So the Bulls, though they are 3-7 in their last 10, yes, they are only averaging 91 points a game, which is right there with Milwaukee for the fewest in the NBA. They do have a chance to maybe be like the 3 seed. Atlanta, only 3 games better than the Bulls. 3 games better than the Bulls. And they're the 3 seed. The Celtics, they're leading their division with a 12-14 record. And this is a problem in the Eastern Conference. It's mostly the Eastern Conference right now because it's terrible. You have 2 really good teams, 2 powerhouses. Indiana 20-4, Miami 18-6. And then you just have a lot of bad teams. No one's terrible. The Bucks are 5-19. Philadelphia 7-19. and Orlando's 8-17. But terrible teams. You just have like teams hovering around 391 win percentage, 500, 600, and there's only 3 teams with winning records. And the Bulls, if they can maybe solve this problem, maybe get a trade going. They have some pieces. You could trade away Boozer's expiring contract for some more scoring, for a guy that could score 20 points a night for sure. Then you have a chance to get home court in the first round of the playoffs. And then who knows? If you're in the playoffs, you have to play Indiana or Miami. Maybe they'll have a tough series, or maybe the Bulls will really step it up by that time, play more like a team, or maybe Derrick Rose will even come back. They were playing pretty well, 6-4 until he got hurt. So Bulls have some choices to make. They're still in this because the Eastern Conference isn't very good, and they should still take advantage of what they have because they're not done yet. The season's not over. It's December 18th, 2013. The season ends in April. They should take advantage of what they have now and maybe still build their team because no one said the season's over. But this segment's over right now in the AC. We'll be right back with the Pacers Heat preview along with my prediction for tonight's Bulls-Rockets game. All that after Al City and Carly Rae Jepsen. Good time on the AC.
Woke up on the right side of the bed. What's up with this Prince song inside my head? Hands up if you're down to get down tonight. 'Cause it's always a good time. Slept in all my clothes like I didn't care. Hopped into a cab, take me anywhere. I'm in if you're down to get down tonight. 'Cause it's always a good time. It's gonna be alright. We don't even have to try. It's always a good time. It's always a good time. We don't even have to try. It's always a good time. It's always a good time.
That's good time, Carly Rae Jepsen, Owl City. And again, there's only 2 weeks left. 2 weeks from today is New Year's. So start making those New Year's plans. And No, it's 2014, and I'm a junior. It's almost in the first semester. I graduate soon. That's like amazing to think about. It's like 18 months away. How many more shows will I have with Michael Ronnie? I don't know, but this is WAS 8.1 FM, Stevenson High School, Lincolnshire, Illinois. This is the AC Afternoon Show, keeping you cool every Wednesday afternoon. Used to be every Tuesday morning from 3:30 to 5 p.m. I'm Stephen Cohen. You can call me C. I'm without my partner today, Michael Ronnie A, for like the fifth or sixth consecutive show. He's in varsity bowling. He's doing great. They're doing well. Their best bowler is Ethan Rosak, but Michael's one of the starters, so congrats to him. He'll be back in the studio with me soon, though, and I won't have to keep talking to myself. So that's gonna be exciting. In other news, though, the NBA tonight, you've got a humongous game on ESPN tonight. That's why it's on ESPN. It's the Pacers and Heat. And that's a game people like to watch because the Pacers and Heat, they combine, it's a chippy rivalry. The past two seasons, they both played each other in the playoffs. The series have been some of the best series that you could see in basketball. And it's just, you don't know what you're going to get from the two teams. They played each other like 2 weeks ago. The Pacers won that game in commanding fashion. Pacers 4 losses on the season. They've blown some games like the Jazz, like the Pistons, the Bulls, but they don't slip up very often, and they're great on the road, 9-3. Of course, the Pacers have Paul George averaging 24 points a game. Right after LeBron, 25.3. LeBron James iffy for this game tonight. He said he missed the shoot around today because he hurt his ankle against, I think, the Jazz the other day. So he's hurt right now, but hopefully he gets back because it's not the same if the Heat lost to the Pacers without LeBron, and the NBA is just not the same because LeBron is a once in a lifetime talent, and if he's not out there, it's just not the same. And the Heat, you've got Dwayne Wade averaging 19 a game. He's been hurt a few games this season. Shane Battier and Mario Chalmers aren't a very high scoring duo. Chalmers does lead this team though with the point guard. And Chris Bosh, not a huge center. It's why the Heat do have 6 losses this season, but they're still a great home team, and they could still beat up on opponents when they want to. And they have 2 straight defending championships. So I'm gonna predict though that the Heat are gonna win this game, 107-82, a blowout. I'm not feeling it tonight for the Pacers, and of course the Heat are home, 11-2 on the season at home, and the Heat show up in these big times. And though the Heat do look at it, we're going to make the playoffs. And if we have to play the Pacers in the playoffs, that's what we expect. So we're going to put all our marbles into that to make sure everyone's healthy now. LeBron, I feel like he's not going to play in this game, but other guys like Chalmers and Wade are going to step up, have a huge night, and the Heat are going to win this game big. Also tonight, Bobcats Raptors, everyone's favorite game. Bobcats are the AC's favorite basketball team, of course. The Bobcats also are playing well. Bobcats 11-14 on the season, and Michael Jordan, their owner, biggest news coming from the Bobcats in weeks, I think. Michael Jordan's expecting twins. So, congrats to him. Like his 15-year-old wife, I think I'm older than her, but they're having twins, identical twins. So maybe they'll grow up and play for the Bobcats one day. Right now, the Bobcats, though, are led by Kemba Walker and Gerald Henderson as Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is hurt and sitting out. But Kemba Walker, he might be an all-star with the way he's playing in the Eastern Conference right now. 17 points a game, I think like 7 assists and 5 rebounds. He's playing terrific. And they're going up against the Raptors, who aren't playing terrible. DeMar DeRozan, he could be trade baits if they start falling out of this playoff picture pretty soon. And he's averaging 22 on the season. Maybe a trade for the Bulls right there. Maybe do something with the Raptors to get DeMar DeRozan. He won the dunk contest a few years ago, but he could really help the Bulls with scoring. I could see a trade happening. Bobcats, though, I'm expecting to pull out another win, which just bothers me because the Bobcats aren't a winning franchise. We're going to win this game 92-85. Same score as last night's game, I think. And with the Bulls, Rockets already covered this. The Bulls, though, they don't have it. It's just not this season. Unless they show that they want to start winning, unless Tom Thibodeau he calls out some of the guys on his team, or they make a trade with Paxton very soon. I don't see it for the Bulls. Not going to get the 10th win tonight. The Rockets are going to take this one 100-85. I don't see the Bulls scoring 100 points once again because they don't. I don't see it. Other games going on tonight in the NBA, including the Trailblazers and the Timberwolves. Portland. If I asked you which one of these two teams will be 22-4, you'd probably say, oh, the Timberwolves, because they have a good team. They have Kevin Love, Nikola Pekovic, and Ricky Rubio. They're not terrible. Well, guess what? Trailblazers are the best team in the NBA right now, better than the Oklahoma City Thunder, better than the San Antonio Spurs. Trailblazers are 22-4 and 12-2 on the road. They won last night in Cleveland. Damian Lillard hit a game-winning shot at the buzzer. They won 119-116. Damian Lillard might also be an all-star. He might start for the Western Conference. He has been terrific, averaging 21 in the season. He was Rookie of the Year last year, and he could be in the MVP conversation this year, leading this Trailblazers team along with LaMarcus Aldridge. It's like the Trailblazers of old going on. Timberwolves, though, also a very strong team. Kevin Love, he's going to be demanding a huge contract after this season. One of those maxed out contracts that LeBron or Lillard will be able to get very soon. And Lillard out of Weber State, I think it's pronounced. And so the Trailblazers get to see them winning this game 120-100. They're a high scoring team where they have 4 guys averaging at least 14 points in the starting lineup. Timberwolves, also a good team. I like the Timberwolves. They're on my naughty list of teams. I like to watch Timberwolves games. They're interesting. Kevin Love, he's a deep threat. He's an inside threat. He rebounds the ball. He's not just the guy that gets 20 rebounds a game anymore, or the guy that just gets double-doubles. He's the guy that dominates games. He changes games. He could change this game tonight. Not feeling it, though. Trailblazers, they're on a roll. And right now, they can clinch a playoff spot already, it almost seems. So that's tonight's NBA preview right there. We'll have another song, and then we'll have our final segment of the show today here in the AC. So let's end this year on the lazy song, which is something most students probably going to do during winter break. The lazy song, Bruno Mars, the AC.
Don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna kick my feet up and stare at the fan. Turn the TV on, throw my hand in my pants. Nobody's gonna tell me I can't. Nah, I'll be lounging on the couch, just chilling in my Snuggie. Click to MTV so they can teach me how to dug I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything, nothing at all. Ooh, 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 nothing at all. Ooh, nothing at all.
There's Bruno Mars, the Lazy Song. That'll be the last song in the AC for 2013. That's it. This year started off terrific, and we're just going to recap the year here for a few minutes, going all the way back to the BCS Championship from last year. You got Alabama starting off the year with a win. You go to the Super Bowl in February. You got the blackouts at the Super Bowl. The Ravens end up winning that game, the Harbaugh Bowl, though, beating John Harbaugh's brother, Jim Harbaugh, the 49ers head coach. Colin Kaepernick led the season. That was a great NFL season that the Ravens won. Fighting for a playoff spot now, help themselves with Justin Tucker's 6 field goals against the Lions on Monday night. You move on to the opening day of the MLB. The White Sox start off with 2 straight wins. They'll win 61 games the rest of the season. The Cubs even have a better record than them at the end of the season. In the NBA, the Heat win their 2nd straight championship after the Bulls flounder in the second round to the Heat. They win the first game of the series after winning a 7-game series against the Brooklyn Nets. Joakim Noah went wild in Game 7 of that series. They won that game. Couldn't hold on, though, even though Nazir Muhammad punched LeBron James in that series. He did every man's dream at the time. The Heat win the finals, though, and against the Spurs, and what might be one of the best finals of all time. The Spurs had it put away, but Ray Allen, James Shuttleworth, he made a 3, and James Shuttleworth, I bring that up right now, just a little quick tidbit. The NBA will be having a few games this year where teams like the Heat, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, they will be wearing nicknames on the back of their jerseys. So LeBron James might be wearing King James on the back of his jersey. Kind of interesting. Most fans don't like it because it takes away from the player, but kind of a cool thing that's going on. You move on with the sports season. You got in college basketball, Louisville wins the men's and women's tournaments. You move on to the NBA draft where those guys move into the NBA. And your number 1 pick is Anthony Bennett going to the Cavs. I don't think he's played a game yet because they didn't really have a need for him. Confusing to me. The Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. It was a shortened season. The Blackhawks were known by SI then as the team that saved hockey. They started off that season with 25 consecutive points, a 25-game point streak. Terrific season for them. So exciting to see them win their 2nd title in 4 years against the Boston Bruins. Move on to MLB. The season ends with the Red Sox winning the World Series following the Boston Marathon bombings back all the way in April. David Ortiz carries the team with maybe one of the best World Series performances of all time. They win the World Series. Yeah, that was exciting. And move on to right about now where the NFL season's coming to a conclusion. And the Bears sitting right there. The Seahawks, though, best team so far this year, probably. And so, just moving on to the MLB offseason very, very quickly for about 1 minute here. The White Sox made some news when they traded away their closer, Assen Reed. And the second trade they made with the Arizona Diamondbacks in a 10-day span, they got Matt Davidson, a third baseman that was one of the Diamondbacks' best prospects last season. He played a little bit in the majors with the big league club. He struck out a lot, as he says, for this upcoming season, as he has a chance to compete for the White Sox opening day third baseman job, a job that was held by guys like Brent Morel and Brent Littlebridge last season, guys that really struggled to put it away, and Jeff Keppinger as well. Jeff Keppinger really came to the team to be in a utility role. He'll probably return to that if Matt Davidson's able to make the big league club and be the third baseman for the White Sox, and that makes Connor Gillespie, actually, a guy that can really move around the field. He can play any position. That'll help the team a lot, and this also comes on the heels of the trade with the Diamondbacks and the Angels. It's on Hector Santiago to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim to get the Diamondbacks prospect Adam Eden, probably going to be the opening day center fielder for the White Sox, as Alejandro Diaz begins trade bait, or he becomes a backup, or he just gets designated for assignment and sent to the minors. White Sox still looking for some help. But you see that they really want that offense this year. They also signed Paul Konerko to a 1-year, $4 million deal a few weeks back. And he'll be able to bring just a veteran presence. The Cubs kind of staying quiet. It doesn't look like they're going to go after Matt Garza again, the guy they traded away. And they don't have Scott Feldman anymore. He signed with the Astros, who are looking like they're not going to be terrible next year. Maybe not 100 losses, maybe 95. Well, that's the AC show for 2013. We'll be back here in 2014. Maybe not that first week. There's a basketball game that night. Might be broadcasting that game. Make sure to check out all those broadcasts on ihigh.com/Stevenson Patriots. Those are for all our radio broadcasts. For those basketball and hockey broadcasts, go to highschoolcube.com. There's a link on the d125.org webpage. For my partner, Michael Ronnie, I'm Stephen Cohn, and this is WAES 88.1 FM, Stevenson High School, Lincolnshire, Illinois. That's the AC show. I keep you cool with Michael Ronnie every Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Have a very safe winter break, Stevenson. Have a great New Year's, and just make sure to enjoy the end of 2013 and the start of 2014 because, hey, it's a new year, new chances, and that, of course, means a whole new season of sports. I hope to be able to do something like I just did next year where I'm so excited about all different sports that came to a conclusion, where it's maybe with a few more Chicago teams, maybe the Bears, maybe the Blackhawks, maybe the Bulls, maybe the White Sox, of course not the Cubs. If it's not the Bulls, let's go Bobcats. So have a great winter break, Stevenson.